So number one, which is the thing that, of course, is the reason why pretty much every Smash tournament schedule is terrible, is they're not optimizing for stream at all,
Yeah.
like at
I was
all.
pointing out how like no doubles here. It's like in like Sunday is really
So I
hurting.
mean, look at this. Look at this fucking thing. Melee on Saturday ends at 6 p.m. It starts at 10 a.m., but it ends at 6 p.m. There is no Melee being played in the venue after 6 p.m.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Right? Like, so there's that, right? And day one is all garbage content. It's literally just hot garbage content.
Pools.
There's doubles top six, but the thing is, as you know, I hate doubles on Friday. It's so bad. Every TO has started doing it because they're terrible. Um,
The one thing that they
and
unified
Oh no,
behind
you don't like
is
doubles on Friday, Blur? Oh
they
no.
unified behind one thing, and that's by shafting
dude,
doubles as hard as possible.
it's literally like watching brain rot. It's like, first of all, we find optimal things. There was a period where I consulted on literally every TO schedule. It was like 2014 to 2017. Like I hand like not approved, but basic consult on pretty much every major schedule, and we solved a lot of these problems. So that's great. But then over time, they're going back to the same old bad habits. It's horrible. So doubles on Friday, terrible. Why? It's killed doubles effectively. Like it's doubles won't really get main stage time. Everyone knows doubles is gonna be right after round one pools, and so the stream viewership is gonna be terrible. Now top players don't even enter doubles, and when it's doubles only Friday, people don't even show up on Friday. So it ends up becoming a secret 2-day event instead of a 3-day event, which the reason why the TOs do doubles on Friday is because they think that there's going to be some people who only want to do singles and can only and have work on Friday and will therefore come to the event because it's now Saturday, Sunday, right? The problem is every single person who buys a 3-day pass hates it because now the Friday just sucks, right? Like it's like, oh, we're doing nothing. People are playing doubles, I guess. No one's entered into doubles. The venue's dead. I guess we're just gonna hang out in the hotel. Like I've gotten to the point where I'm like, do I even fly out on those fucking Fridays? Because it's pointless. Like, dude, I'm a 3-day attendee, and I want my 3 days to actually be 3 fucking days, right? I want to have fun for 3 days, not for two. And so yeah, I mean, like just this doubles Friday shit. It's killed doubles, literally just single handedly. Like people think it's because some doubles players retired, and that has something to do with it. But it's mostly because tournament scheduling. It's
Well, Blur,
actually
what about stuff like
horrible.
cruise or like variety stuff on Fridays? Like that's pretty
That's
fun.
also a good idea. That's also something I always recommend.
Kind of
Is
like
to
a
have
summit,
actual
right? Like Cruise Agamo was so exciting.
content on the
Yeah.
on the Friday, which is
Like
huge.
Shine, we're doing I don't think I'm revealing. Okay, KoDoRiN, how many people are you watching your stream?
200.
All right, 200 people. Don't leak. I trust all of you, 200 people. But Friday we're doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire that night. I'm hosting
Oh
it
my
at
god, keep it a
2 p.m.
secret, guys.
Yeah, keep it a secret.
Okay, I'm gonna matter of fact to help you understand what a good schedule looks like versus a terrible schedule, which is the one you're looking at. Let me share you a document that I made years ago. This is to show how old these ideas are, right?
Yeah,
Like,
let's see.
let me to do. Let me give you. This is like back when I was planning a Secret Kings of Cali 5. I was like, okay, if I was running a melee only event, and now this is not the same as this ultimate event because obviously having more games changes things a
As you
lot.
thought
But
we're
just
doing
to show
right
people, like
now?
in general, the things you can do, right?
Thanks, Tim.
So again, don't make the comparison with multi-game events because it affects a lot. This is from like I'm giving you a document that's like 8 years old.
I need access.
Yeah, me too.
My God. How do I give access?
Yeah, I need access also.
Also, is this tolerable or is it bad still?
This is better.
Dude, this thing is so old that I think that can I even am I the owner of this document?
Oh my god.
10 years ago, Blur was a bigger genius than every TO now.
It's true. I'm gonna make a copy and share it because I don't know how else to do it. Anyone with the link. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wasn't the owner because one of my old emails had ownership. That's how old it is. Okay. Tell me when you've got it up.
Yep.
A little crash course on how to actually TO.
Well, I mean, the delivering on the event things is pretty important.
Yeah. Okay. So actually running the event is huge. But this is the general idea. I've run this stuff at like other events, and if you've ever watched a Blur event and you're like, oh, weird, it seems like there's always good matches on. It's because you do systems like this. It's when you actually give a shit. So, to talk through it a little bit, and you'll notice that exhibition is Ken versus Zazing, because that's something we were going to do at KOC5 back when that was a thing.
Oh my god.
And we were going to have a SoCal crew battle on the Friday. That's pretty cute, right? So
Mhm.
basically, one thing you'll notice about the stream schedule and the general thing is I don't have round one pools on stream at any point in this entire tournament. Like, how do you do that? How is that possible? It's very easy, actually. Basically, you run phase 1 and phase 2 at the same time. You have a wave A, which runs their phase, and then they play their phase 2 right after they play their phase 1, right? So currently what we seem to do is terrible, which is you play one round, right? This is KoDoRiN. This is your general experience at most tournaments.
Mhm.
You play one round, right?
Yep.
And you play that on Friday. And
Actually,
then
we don't even play at all Friday.
Nowadays you play it's doubles only, and Saturday's packed. But no matter what, even in the schedules like SMashCon, you'll see that Friday is fucked either way, right? Because it's one of two things happens nowadays in modern tournaments. Number one, doubles only on Friday, so there's no Friday, and so you just are kind of there doing nothing. Or they have Friday plus round one pools, or they have doubles plus round one pools. Those are like the two things they seem to do because they're incompetent. And there's a lot wrong with that. Number one, you sacrifice all of Friday's stream content. Number two, it makes Saturday insanely packed, right? In general, what happens at tournaments is Friday, there's next to nothing in terms of what a player's journey is, in terms of like a KoDoRiN or whatever. They're like kind of just bored. They're doing nothing. And then Saturday, they wake up at like 10 a.m. and they play until like midnight, right? Like
Ridiculous.
it's ridiculous. It's fucking dumb, right? And
Yeah,
so,
Saturday, the Saturday marathon schedule, I've heard so many complaints about from players, and I think they're right to be upset.
That's also
about
another
it.
reason why I wanted to drop out Double Down.
yeah,
The
dude, all the
marathon
teams
schedule,
are-
yeah, I've heard.
They just don't give a fuck. They're like, oh yeah, dude, we really need top player attendance. But Saturday, yeah, you guys gotta play for 14 hours. It's like, what are you doing? Like, how about don't do that? So Saturdays, Umar's saying Saturdays, like anyone who's gone far in tournaments knows that the Saturdays are shit shows. It's like you're dying, you can't even go out to eat because you always have a fucking match. Whereas Fridays has nothing. And often Sunday has nothing, just like the SmashCon schedule. Right now, if you look at the SmashCon schedule, KoDoRiN, if you went there, I don't know if you're going to SmashCon.
No.
You'd play like you play like a couple sets of Mega round one pools on Friday, and then
Which I'm surprised, by the way.
you'd basically die on Saturday. Though apparently they're stopping their Saturday at 5 o'clock, so that's unique and also really bad.
For
And
stream.
then on Sunday it's just top 8, right?
For
like-
competitors, it's like, it's okay. But for stream, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty
I'm pretty
bad.
sure they only have like one stream, by the way.
Wait, so Blur, just to be clear, I'm like looking at this. By phase 2, you mean round 2 pools, right? Like round 1 happens, and then you immediately go into your round 2 matches.
Yeah, so Kodo switch back to showing it. Basically, the way this system works, and by the way, this has been done in major tournaments because back when I consulted Big House, they did this system and it was better. But then people just stopped, right? Like again, it's very difficult.
Now that you mention it, Blur, like what is the point? Like, why would you cater to people that want to come in? Like, the whole point is it's supposed to be a 3-day experience. Now that you bring it up,
right? The whole reason why a lot of events have stopped is because like, oh man, maybe we can get a 5% attendance boost, which by the way hasn't been shown, right? It hasn't been shown this doubles Friday shit has helped anything. Maybe we get a bit of an attendance boost by doing Fridays only by doing doubles only on Friday, and so the 2-day pass people can still enter. I have not seen actual evidence that has increased attendance at all, because I don't
Is
think
there
it probably
any data
doesn't.
about like do they record 2-day passes at all, or do they even sell 2-day passes for most events?
They sell 2-day passes, and that's why they do doubles on Friday. It's because they
Right.
want Friday to be a dead day, and so that like those
but it's
2-day passes.
you want Friday to be a dead day, right? The whole point is you're supposed to make a case to your audience on why they should be there the whole 3. I think that's
Yeah.
what they're saying, right?
That's what I'm saying.
No,
I'm
I
saying
get it.
No, but that's a good point.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
a big
why
doubles
cater-
on Friday liker because it's more convenient to fly in. But now that you bring it up, like, yeah, why should the thing is it shouldn't be catering toward who would be convenient. The whole point is it's supposed to be a 3-day weekend.
Sell
yeah,
your
because
event.
95% of the people are still 3-day passes, right?
Right, so why not
So
make it
keep
Mhm.
that in mind. Why not make those 95% of people happy and give the 2-day passes a reason to buy the more expensive 3-day pass, right?
Yeah.
There's more 2-day passes because there's no reason. I'm someone who wants to buy a 3-day pass. I'm considering no longer doing it because Fridays are boring as shit and I have things to do,
Yeah, true.
right? Like, it's just no point in being there. And it kills doubles, which is not good. And small rant about that is that when we started doing doubles top fours on Sundays and we actually gave doubles the stage it deserved. Now, this was a time where we had really good players for it, but I don't think that's a coincidence. So this is when we had CLG, we had UGS, we had all that. Doubles peaked at 88K on the Genesis stream. That year, melee singles was sub 100K. To put that into context, doubles wasn't that far away from the singles top 8 peak. That's how hype it was. If you were around that era, you know that people cared about doubles not as much, but almost as much as singles. And if I guarantee you, if we brought it back, gave it the real stage it deserves, and therefore top players would actually enter it, and we'd have a routine discussion about it, all of a sudden you'd find that it'd be the second highest peak in terms of content blocks on our schedule. Right? It would very quickly become it because, again, if you were a part of that era, you remember how hyped that entire thing was. A lot of people cared about, Left and Ice versus UGS more than they cared about singles. Genuinely, in that
Definitely
era.
more than like some random round one pools.
Right. And currently, now no one enters doubles because it's on Friday and no one's watching. Right. And so, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, to further your point, actually, I was talking
Or
to
the schedule's horrible.
Moki. I was talking to Moki about why he doesn't just like enter like Friday doubles, and it's because like for like a worse player, you're like, oh haha, I'll enter doubles on Friday. I'm not doing anything. That's all that's happening Friday. You play 3 sets. It's an hour. It's whatever. But for a good player, like people actually care about entering doubles. It's like an 8-hour full day commitment that takes the whole Friday. So the fact that it's all on that one day makes people less interested in entering because then they're gonna blow out their whole day.
Exactly. Either you do one thing, which is have a chill day where you just get to relax, or you spend your entire day playing doubles for a stream with 2K viewers. Right?
Right,
Like,
and it's like
who the fuck makes that choice?
Because good people, the top players that we want to watch in doubles, aren't going to do it for 2 hours. They're going to make top 8 even if they're just half-assing it.
Right. And
You know?
Kodo, what does Smash run on? What are the two things?
Pride and shame.
Pride and shame. Those are the only things we have, and there's no pride in winning doubles right now. That's the only reason why it's not doing well. There's nothing there. Anyway, so to go on about basically this phase 1 to phase 2 system, which again has been used at Super Major successfully, and TO just stopped doing it. Is you look at the stream schedule, it's phase 2 the entire time. And the thing with phase 2 brackets, if you guys know brackets, is those are good matches. Those are great matches. Those are fantastic
You
matches.
could argue they should be best of 5.
I would probably do best of 5 for even phase 2. Yeah, like, but point is that those are great matches it's going to be quality content the whole time. So if you just look at it on a bird's eye view in terms of a schedule like this, you have a baby pre-show, you have phase 2 brackets, which is great matches. You have an exhibition to end Friday, and then you have SoCal NorCal another exhibition. I have 2 exhibitions to end the day, right? Then on Saturday, I have phase 3 brackets, and I stream all of it, literally the entire thing, right? And phase 3, if you guys don't know, is like top. It depends on how big your tournament is. It could be like top 16, top 32, right? And I slow roll that shit, hardcore, and I do waves for those. So a thing that top players, again, TOs don't seem to understand this, is that if you wave out your top 32, so let's say you split out your top 32 into 4 sections, right? That means you can tell a player, hey, you only have to play for two hours here, and then you'll qualify into top 8 and you're done. That's the whole waving out system. And then you have to come back at 7 o'clock, right? For phase 4, right? In this scenario, which would probably be top 16 into top 8, right? And what's cool about that is instead of having a player be like basically stuck in the venue for hours and hours, if you're a top player, here's your journey. You're in wave G. You have to show up at 1 p.m. You play your top 32 to top 16 qualifying matches on stream. And then I tell you, all right, get out of here. Come back at 7 o'clock, right? You come back at 7 o'clock, and then you play for your matches, play a couple hours, and you're done. That's it, right? Versus the system they have now, which is basically, hey man, you just got to kind of be around, for like, I don't know, 14 hours, right? It's just they're not waving it correctly so that players can, take breaks. This is like not part of their factors. I don't understand.
Does that not butt up against having doubles run concurrently?
It doesn't, because you can just wave out, like basically the way you would do it is you would do opposite conflicts with doubles. You could totally do this. Now, by the way, this particular section gets a little bit more challenging with conflicts, not much more challenging. So the reason why it's not much more challenging, you'd be like, oh, if someone enters a shit ton of events, what do you do? Number one, our events should have, like, especially if you're a SmashCon, you should be able to only enter, like, let's say a maximum of 4 events, right? You shouldn't want someone to be entering 8 fucking tournaments. That's crazy. So if someone wants to do melee singles, melee doubles, alt singles, and fucking Wii U singles, God bless. You still retain the heart of SmashCon. They can do that, right? But more than that, it becomes troublesome, because the reason it becomes troublesome with more than 4 is that there's only 4 waves. You notice? Wave F, G, H, and I. You can only split it up into 4. And once they have a 5th one, then you have a hard time basically placing them without having conflicts. Basically, they have to play 2 of their tournaments at the same time. Do you get that?
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do is make it so that they have a cap of 4 things they enter, which is pretty normal. 99% of attendees don't enter more than 4, right? And then you're fine in terms of conflicts. It's not that bad. You just basically put them. They have to play all day, but that's on them because they want to enter 4 fucking tournaments.
True.
But for a melee only event like the one I'm showing right now, it's like incredible. Like in terms of the top player experience, you basically play 4 hours each day. That's it. Like, and it's evenly spread out. Versus currently, you play for like 30 minutes day 1, you play 14 hours day 2, you play for potentially 30 minutes day 3 because it's only top 8. That's like the difference, is that it's actually evenly spread out across 3 days instead of all mashed into Saturday. Anyway, and then if you just look at the Sunday, I just have doubles top 8, singles top 8, and you end. If you're a multi-game, you just make a doubles top 4, and you do melee singles, you do ult singles, and you're done. Right? Not that different. This is a pretty short Sunday, but I think we had some venue limitations when I was making this schedule. Like we had to be out or something, and I wanted to do a large after party. So I wanted people to get there. But in general, you can make this day longer. Obviously, I only have 2 pieces of content on this Sunday. But you'll notice that every minute of this stream is sick, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So it's like, why the fuck in 2012 was I getting more viewership for my tournaments?
Yeah. So
than
what?
people are
How
getting
much? How
now?
much did Kings of Cali 4 get for reference?
Kings of Cali 4, I think, was like 60, 50, 60, something like that. This is off
60K?
memory. I don't remember it perfectly. I could be very wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's in that ballpark. It's definitely between 40 to 60 at
50K.
minimum.
Not bad.
But I'm pretty sure it was around that much. And this was an era where no tournaments weren't getting, like, no one in this era should be getting that. I think basically, here's my prediction, because I know this shit. If I ran this tournament, the one I'm showing on stream right now, it would get over 100K. And the reason is because it's the stream schedule. It's just the stream schedule. I have good content for 3 days straight. It's ramping up the whole time. You have social media people going crazy over it, right? You have this exhibition on day 1, SoCal Normal, this big splash event, right? And you have good sets for like 10 straight. People would watch the entire thing. They would watch the entire every minute, right? So I really think by the end you'd have ramped up so hard you'd be at like 100K unironically. But because of the scheduling that TOs do, their tournaments aren't even getting 50, because they're just like not having good content. I mean, these are people I like, and I'd help them if they want to. But even Wave Dash, right? Like, how many hours of good content did that stream have, right? Not
Sunday
many.
was the only good day.
They pretty much didn't stream Saturday. They had a couple hours on stream.
Yeah.
And then Sunday was like maybe 4 hours, 5 hours of good content. Compare 5 hours of good content versus like which is like 30, right? Like a ramp. Who's gonna get more minutes watched? Who's gonna get more viewership? This will, right? No shit. And so like, yeah, I mean that's basically all that's happening in Melee, is that the TOs are scheduling ways which are not optimizing for stream at all, which is hurting the scene.
Well, even in
And
terms of like attendee experience, like I'm thinking about what you're saying, right?
this is also better for attendees too. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, even the average attendee,
I'd
like
rather want to attend this.
I really
Yeah.
I really like what you said about like even for the average attendee, it's like when you should be going, you shouldn't be catering to people who are not like super duper loyal and coming in
Yeah.
like late on Friday, right? Like you should be going to people who are going on Thursday night and like super excited to like play at the event. I feel like that's
Yeah.
most attendees.
Also, you'd be hyped the whole time because guess what? Attendees are spectators. This is a concept that apparently TOs don't fucking understand. Again, brain rot. But Edwin, when you go to an event, what is maybe the number one thing that you're excited to do? Watch good melee.
Yeah.
Right? So they're like,
I
oh,
love going around setups. Dude, one of my favorite memories from Genesis, among many, is you going up to me and you're like, True Dots Mario just took a game off Ben's Luigi.
Yeah, that's
like,
hype.
this is history in the making.
And guess what? At Genesis, that was like 3 hours of the whole thing. Right?
Yeah, Genesis' schedule was pretty bad.
Versus if you do this, it's the whole event. Right, like as an attendee, imagine you have the exhibition and SoCal NorCal at the end. You're fucking losing your shit. You have phase 2, which is again good matches the whole way. You're losing your shit. All of Saturday is fun to watch. You're having a good time, and then all of Sundays is like you don't want to not be in the venue, right? Me, when I go to Smash events, I'm like, bro, I don't want to be in the venue for 90% of it. Kodo knows what I do at Smash events.
Yeah,
I'm
Battle
out.
of BC.
Yeah, bro, I was in Vancouver for fucking half of it. Right? Like I just was like, I don't want to
downtown Vancouver rather than a venue.
Downtown Vancouver and like, going out to local bars and restaurants with friends, which is fun for me. But I think it goes to show, even for someone like me who loves Melee, there's nothing to fucking do in the venue. And the number one thing you have is good Smash Brothers, because that's what like the whole fucking event's about. And they just don't have that most of the time. And so, no more TQing or magic shows. Exactly. That's literally what happens at events. Why does it happen? It's because nowadays there's less people in the room than there ever has been. Right? Like nowadays, on average time, if I'm like, oh, where do I need to find a person who's also at the event? The answer is not the venue. Right? They're usually somewhere else. Like, I'm more likely to find Mango in his hotel room at this point than like in the venue randomly. Right? It's at most events. Unless this match is like coming up the very next minute.
So wait, Blur. So just a real quick then. Like, think of it from like I'm trying to wrap my head around why is it? Explain to me why it's better because I'm asking a friend about this and he's like a big like, oh, I like coming in on Friday night and like not having to worry about like coming in on Thursday night or Friday morning guy, right? And like, yeah. I think the question would be like, why is this better for the 2 tour to play their match on Friday versus playing their match on Saturday? I think is his question.
For 2 reasons. 2 reasons. Number 1, yes, you're gonna have to take an extra day off. Number 2, your event experience will be 10 times better, and everyone else's will be, right? And so yeah,
I agree. I want to hear your words on it. Like
so basically the idea is yes, my God, you can't just show up on Saturday and play your matches and go home. But who does that, right? Is that really their event experience? Just play their matches and go home? No, 99% of people, what they do is they play their matches and they stay in the venue and play and watch and enjoy the tournament and do all that shit, right? I'm saying, okay, if all you care about is playing your matches and going home, you're right. If this is better for you. I don't know a single human being like that, right? What I know are people who want to have a fun tournament experience for the fucking venue fee they paid, right? And if you're that person, then this is still better for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually. I think you're totally right. If I went to a tournament, even if I made it to like round 2 pools or whatever, I would, or even if I missed out making out of pools, I would genuinely have a better time having an optimized in-person spectating and like walking around, like seeing what matches are going on, experience, having that spread out over 2 days and having time to hang out. Versus what it is right now, which is in person. Like if I don't enter anymore, but like if I enter and I'm done on like Saturday, then Friday was literally worthless for me, and then my whole experience at attending a major is just completely constrained to day 2, which I think sucks. I think it should be spread across both days.
I guess my question is though, if this is what we were doing at one point, why has it changed? What is the counter argument?
The number one reason is because TO's got in their head that Friday doubles. So when you do Friday doubles, that changes everything, right? This system I'm showing doesn't work with Friday doubles because like it first of all, it's Friday doubles is a terrible idea. But like basically what happens when you do Friday doubles is that you are doing it for the express purpose of turning your event into a secret 2-day event. Right? You're doing Friday doubles. Friday doubles might seem like, oh, it's a doubles special to think. No, it's doubles plus you're saying I want singles to be Saturday, Sunday only. Right? So when singles is Saturday, Sunday only, you can't spread it out like I'm doing. Right? Because now you only have 2 days to do all this shit. And so basically the number one reason why scheduling has gone to hot garbage, and I wish more people would realize it, is that Friday doubles. That's the main reason. I would rather they just don't do doubles than what they're doing. Because the truth of the matter is no one's entering it, and you're running a shit show. Why even have it at this point? I love doubles. I'm the guy who commentated all those double sets, right? It's my favorite thing. But the way they're doing it is disrespecting it at this point, right?
Well, it's also just like I don't even like doubles that much, but you're explaining it in a way like, yeah, I want my experience to be maximized in 2 days. I don't want it all to be constrained in day 2 while day 1 I just walk around and do nothing. Like that's
There's
yeah,
nothing to do day 1.
yeah,
and
that's such a bad.
that's
Like, yeah,
their design.
you're actually right.
That's their design. Their design is to do that so that people can buy 2-day passes and still get away with it. But it's terrible. It's not a good idea.
Not even
It's just
giving
And
bad.
especially as an event, you want people at your event all 3 days. That's actually so true.
Yes, there's other monetization you could do then. Guess what? Artist Alley makes more money when, there's your vendors make more money when there's people actually in the venue. You guys remember Friday venues nowadays? Like think about the tournaments you went to recently. On Friday, you're like, dude, this whole fucking room is empty. Do you think that looks good to a sponsor? You have Red Bull in your room, a guy who's a VP, right? And he's walking around on Friday. He just flew in. He's like, dude, no one's here. They fucking lie to me, right? Is that good? No.
No, it's terrible.
Versus 3 straight days of people losing their shit, right? And interacting with your vendors, your space, your everything. Yeah, you want that, right? No shit. I don't know. Just like
Well, Blur, quick thing then. Would you still be like let's say instead of exhibition or SoCal, like if you don't have crews or something or an exhibition match, like do you think there's still a spot for like variety content like trivia or something from 8 to 10?
Not bad.
Like,
not bad. I mean, fuck it, bro. Any content is better than round 1 pools. The way I
That's what I've been
TO is
saying.
I wouldn't have round 1 pools on stream ever. And the funny thing is that's super easy to do. It's not hard.
especially with Slippy now, you can just record like the history matches are there. Like you literally even if something crazy happened, like we have the
all you have to do is schedule correctly, and round 1 pool should never be on stream. And I'm speaking about even for the super majors. It's super doable. It's not hard for them. They could do it.
What would you say to the idea that like the opportunity to be on stream as a non-top player on round 1 pools is and like play against Mango or whoever the fuck is like part of
God damn, bro! What am I optimizing for? Like this Scrubs moment of glory? No, I'm optimizing for fucking viewership. I'm a tournament organizer. I'm a tournament organizer, brother.
Blur said what I told Mono, but in a way funnier way.
That's actually so funny. Oh my god.
I don't give a
it is
goddamn,
funny,
bro.
but I
I'm
do
running
think
a
that, like,
tournament.
Yeah, okay.
Have your moment of glory when you're good.
Also, I think that like even going back to what Blur was saying before, like what do we think is a bit think of it from that person's perspective, right? Are those like 5 minutes on stream more like a better value add to their attendee experience than having the in-person spectator experience and ability to walk around and find matches with it? Are those 5 minutes more important even for the in-person experience than it is to have the venue experience optimized and like instead of being consolidated all into day 2, which is what it is right now?
But forgetting that, if you really wanted to preserve that, you can just have a 3rd stream and have it only be round 1 pools. But I think that's stupid. Because it's worthless. That stream's gonna have 2K views. Like I don't care about that. Or less probably. So in my experience as a TO, yes, there are some people who would love to get owned by Mango on stream. Actually, 80 to 90% of those people don't want to be there. That's my experience, genuinely. Is that when I tell a new player to go on stream, they literally, it's their first tournament ever, to go on stream against Armada, they're actually begging me half the time to not do it. And it's actually part of the struggle of getting phase 1 matches, is that most of those guys don't actually want to do it. and they're like kind of being forced into it. They're like, okay, I guess, man, because they don't know how to say no to a TO. But yeah, turns out getting brutally 12 stocked by Armada is not that fun.
Yeah, you somehow get 12
Like,
stocks in a best of 3 set.
yeah, like come on, a 12 stock to
No,
the best. That's how it feels.
I'm just asking. I think that it's worth bringing up just as the counter argument.
For sure. A horse who can drive says, "I need my tournament VODs I can review from round 1." We have Slippy. We should be at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's what I said before,
We should,
right?
yeah, we should be dumping the entire tournament onto fucking right afterwards. It's not like that should already be a thing. So anyway, so if you want to
I
go
got
back
a
to
question about the tournament
yeah,
experience that I'd love to hear your
ahead.
thoughts on.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Why did the salty sweet die?
it's too hard to get together. Like that's what the TOs will tell you. I could probably get it together, but basically what they'll tell you is like, oh, it's like getting the players to commit, blah blah blah. That's why they're afraid to do crews. That's why they're afraid to do exhibitions, because they feel like the players are just going to bail on them, and they're worried about that. In fairness, the players have bailed on them a handful of times.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Well,
a lot of it comes. Yeah, go ahead.
The Genesis one where I think Cody dropped out last minute. Like people have tried to run stuff for Genesis, sorry, and it hasn't panned out, right? So like there is like a really valid concern that it's not
That is a
Yeah.
valid
I
concern.
agree.
I think that gets strongly mitigated if you actually have in-person connections with those top players.
true.
I don't think they do it to me. I really don't. Because I've run exhibitions like I would mercilessly shit on them for like it'd be weeks. They wouldn't be
Yeah,
able
the
to do it.
solution is that I could do it, right? Is that
The
you could do
solution
it.
is I could genuinely do. I believe that. Now, in fairness, like not everyone's been in the scene for 20 years and blah blah
I was
blah.
gonna
Like
say, like it's not
have
really
those
the solution,
relationships.
but-
So I see you're right that it's a good point, but I think there are TOs out there who would be like, no, you're playing the exhibition, and they're like, okay.
I think part of the issue too, though, is that like, and I believe me, I am a huge advocate for bringing back that type of content. But like, part of the logistical issue is like when everybody's streaming for 8 hours a day, it's hard to feel like any sustained sense of like beef.
Oh yeah, it's like, is this even real, etc. I mean, I think crew battles like have a storyline in themselves. They don't need to have any beef really. Like
Mhm.
we should be doing SoCal, NorCal every year, and we should be doing East Coast, West Coast every year, and we should be doing like those regional crews of Big House every year. Like those are
Mhm.
those are layups, right? Those are easy. Um, Theoretically, you could even do team versus team for the teams that have more players. Fortunately, most Smash teams are only like 1 or 2 players, right?
Mhm.
Like FlyQuest is only KoDoRiN and JMook. But
Both the Guardians.
theoretically, right? Theoretically, there are a handful of teams that you could do that with. Like be like Golden Guardians versus who has the next most highest
Beast
amount of
Coast
players?
probably, right?
Maybe Beast Coast, yeah, something like
Right.
that.
Beast
And you could
Coast,
do that.
FlyQuest.
That could be kind of cool. That could be kind of cool. I don't think that's as cool personally. But at least maybe it would make sponsors sign more players. That could be all right. But yeah, the regional stuff is huge, and I think means a lot. I also, here's an exhibition that I missed. It's probably never gonna come back again, but it's fun. Do you guys remember boss rushes? I thought boss rushes were a fun idea.
I
Yeah, Boss
enjoyed
Rush
watching
was
Plup
great.
Boss Rush Showdown thing.
Yeah,
Where Lucky killed
like
himself.
if I was running a regional, I would totally set that shit up. Be like, hey, the theme of this regional is to get the
Is he
super
bothering you
grinders
right
out. Like where it's basically
now?
like,
Thanks, Drew.
hey, this regional's idea is we run a regional. All of our top players in our region go. If you come to this regional, and we'll fly you out if you want to come, we will set up a boss rush for you. And if you win the boss rush, you beat our region, right? And that's hype. In an example of when we did it was when Plup came over. He almost won. He
Yeah,
went down on
he
SoCal 18.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thanks,
he was doing
Lucky.
great.
Dude, you know who I think he's not doing the boss rush thing specifically, but one TO who I think is actually like real. I mean, if you've ever been to, look, I'm just gonna say, if you've ever been to an event after party, you've probably seen ETOS trying to offer buying like a top player grinder like a drink or something, trying to get him to go to Minnesota Monthly. All right, like let's
Yeah.
that guy really wants to get like every grinding like top 50 and top 20 player like to his tournament.
Yeah, and it only works if your region's stacked. So I don't think Minnesota could really do boss rush because they'd lose every time.
Maybe if Hundo's if he gets 100 grand back active, the 100 grand Ben preeminent. No, I know it's not like SoCal in 2014, right? But
Yeah, it's more of a stacked region thing, but I think like nightclub could do stuff like that,
Oh
like
my
for like
nightclub
random,
has a lot of potential.
yeah, random nightclub weekends. I think also Cal events could do it. Probably NorCal ones could do it. Like there's the more stacked regions could totally do it, and it would make the random weeks be a lot more exciting, right? How cool would it be like KoDoRiN versus all of New York, and how far can he get? Is he gonna make it to the B team? Is he gonna beat the A team? You know, like I don't know. KoDoRiN versus the New York A team. I don't know who wins. It's
Would have been
exciting.
hyped to see.
Would have been hyped to see. Um, so like that's a regional based idea, but there's a lot of exhibitions you could do. I think ending Friday with an exhibition is pretty much you should if you can pull it off, you should do it. But the truth of the
But what
matter
they
is,
don't
even
have.
if this schedule on here didn't have exhibition, it would still be so much better. You know, like it's it's still so much better. Like ultimately, the main thing that matters here is phase one, phase two, concurrent, and then spreading out your phase three, four. That's all that
Mhm.
needs that, and not having doubles on Friday, which is
how does
just
this translate with multiple games? Does it not change at all, or is it?
not
That,
much. So the main
okay.
thing it changes. So by the way, one of the things with this system is it is a little bit more setup intensive, not much more. So
Mm-hmm.
before answering your question, I want to mention that is that normally you'd only need 64 setups to do what they do. But like in a reasonable, whereas this would be like 64 plus 16. So like to do phase two and phase one concurrently in reasonable amounts of time, phase two needs some setups dedicated to it. You know what I'm saying? So you need like a quarter more setups. Not that big a deal, right? Like it's not that many more. Um, and many tournaments are already hitting those setup numbers anyway. Um, with like some of them hitting 100 plus nowadays. So your question was with multiple games. So the main thing, not much changes. The main thing you would do is you would just make it so that the number of events they can enter is limited. So and you could decide that based on what your preferences are as TO. Some TOs I think will pick even a smaller number than 4. So 4 is like the obvious cap of like you can only enter 4 tournaments. Um, I think it's even fine to go as low as 2. You can only enter 2 tournaments. Um, and that way you have much less conflicts. And I think it's completely fine to do that, right? Um, and so and I think TO should already be doing that. They shouldn't like be changing their entire event experience because someone wants to enter 8 tournaments. Like it's fucking stupid. You know, like that's dumb. Don't do that. Like you're changing the schedule for everybody just because someone wants to enter 8 tournaments. Like 3 people want to do that. That's insane. And so you would constrain it that way, but ultimately you can do it with up to 4 because there are 4 waves, right? If you just pay attention, there's A, B, C, D on day 1, and there's F, G, H, I. Kodo, show it on stream. Scroll left. So there's 4 waves, right? That means when there's 4 waves like that, that means you can have people, if they really wanted to, enter 4 events, right?
Got it.
Because when their wave A melee is happening, they're doing nothing else for anything else. And then they'll be in wave B of ultimate, and then wave C of 64, and wave D of whatever else, right? Um, and actually, in this, you can only the way this is set up. I think you could only do. No, you can still do this. I think you would probably want to cap it at 3 events with the way this is set up because um, I don't want to get into it, but I would do 3 with this one. If I had ultimate as well. But I think it's completely fine. Like like someone can only enter 3 events. Oh no, like that's normal. 99% of attendees are 1 to 2 events, right? Some are 3. Um, and people who are 4 plus, they're crazy people
The
who
Mewtwo
don't
Kings.
enjoy their lives. Right, and we don't have many of those. We just don't. Even the ones who are multi-game guys usually like focus on a single game during the event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like do a couple games max.
Mhm.
Doing 3 like doing 4 like 5 6 tournaments, like you're not going to play well and it's like bad for everybody. So, yeah, you just put a fucking cap on it. That's it. So,
And
um
that's
and
why this schedule's trash.
it is. It is indeed. Um, A lot of the reason why they're doing their schedule this way is they are thinking about what if someone entered everything. And I'm like, that's dumb. That doesn't make sense. No one's doing that. Why are you making your entire schedule on that core concept? Like making it
them
worse for
no.
everyone else.